Hello dear viewers, welcome to TV Mathshub. This is your study pattern for competitive exams. Here you will find different questions, clear solutions, and the guidance you need to succeed. Subscribing is completely free. It is just your way of appreciating our work and supporting the channel. So don't forget to hit the subscribe button and let's learn together. Hello viewers, welcome to TV Mathshub. In our today's session, we shall be looking at item number 6 for UNEB 2025, UCE Mathematics. This is the paper that has been recently done by all the candidates countrywide, and we have so far discussed the required responses for items 1 up to item number 5. And in case you haven't accessed the videos about these items, please check our previous videos or else find the link within the description for this same video or the pinned comment in the comment section. So without wasting time, we shall look at item number 6. Item 6 says a head teacher of a school with 500 students has been receiving reports of some students missing porridge in the morning. In defense, the caterer claims that the students are many and use big cups, yet the container in which the caterer keeps porridge to be served is small. So the container has a surface area of 96,000 centimeters squared and a volume of 128,000 centimeters cubed. The caterer has requested the head teacher to buy a similar larger container of surface area 150,000 centimeters squared, so that the volume of porridge to be served to each student increases when the larger container is filled to capacity. As a way of improving the services at the kitchen, the head teacher has employed another cook who will earn a gross monthly income of this amount. This income includes the transport allowance of this amount, housing allowance of this amount, lunch allowance, which is 10% of the gross monthly income, and utilities allowance of this amount. The cook is supposed to pay income tax according to the structure in table 3, but all the allowances are free of tax. So we are given the table which is showing taxable income and the tax rate. The cook is interested in knowing his net income. So what is the required task? We are given the task 1 to determine the quality of porridge in liters that will be served to each of the 500 students if the caterer gets the larger container and each student is to receive the same quantity. B is to compute the net income for the cook. So those are the required tasks, and we need to provide the required responses. So let us begin by reading some of the important information to help us in giving the response to part A. So part A, we are basically to determine the quantity of porridge in liters that will be served to the 500 students if the caterer gets the larger container and each student is to receive the same quantity. So it means this will be the first information that will help us in answering part A. So we shall go through the information once more to look at the given information. So we are told the school has 500 students, and they have been using the container that has got this surface area and this as the volume. And the head teacher is requested to buy similar, but this time around, larger containers, which has got the surface area of that, but we don't know the volume. So our major task now is to answer part A first, and then after we shall come to part B. So let us first look at the information that we are given. We are given the information that the surface area of the containers that are around the surface area of the smaller container of the smaller container is equal to, so we are given that as this is the smaller container and they are supposed to buy a larger container. So this will be treated as a smaller container and has surface area of 96,000. So this is 96,000 centimeters squared. So let us talk about the volume of the small container. Volume of the smaller container, it has a volume of 128,000. So it has got a volume of 128,000. centimeters cubed. So the head teacher is requested to buy a larger container, similar larger container of surface area 150. So let us also talk about the surface area of the larger container, surface area of the larger container. That will be same as 150. That will be same as 150,000 centimeters squared. So we don't know the volume of this larger container. So the volume of the larger container is not known. We don't know this. So since we are not knowing the volume of the larger container, we shall first of all see how best we can get this volume to help us in answering the required task. So from here, let us first of all use the information that we are having. From the information given, we realize here we have the surface area, and how will the surface area help us in getting this volume? So that we shall use what we call the linear scale factor, area scale factor, and volume scale factor. So we shall use that knowledge of linear scale factor, area scale factor, and the volume scale factor. So you must know the relationship between a linear scale factor, a volume scale factor, and the surface area, that is the surface area factor. So that is the information that we shall use. So we shall use that given information. So we shall be saying using a linear scale factor, using linear scale factor, area scale factor, then and a volume scale factor. So we need to use the idea. We need to use the idea of linear scale factor, area scale factor, and the volume scale factor to get the relationship between surface area and the volume of the container. So we understand that area scale factor, which we can have as that, is same as linear scale factor, when the whole of this is squared. So in other words, we can say that area scale factor is same as a linear scale factor, which is squared. So how do we get area scale factor? We get area scale factor by getting area of the larger container, divided by the area of the smaller container. This should be equal to a linear scale factor. This should be equal to the linear scale factor, which is squared. So we already know the area of the larger container, that is 150,000 centimeters squared. We are dividing this by 96,000 centimeters squared, and this should be equal to linear scale factor, which is squared. So from here we realize this will be same as 150 divided by 96, which is equal to linear scale factor squared. So here we can try to simplify this further. Let us say 96, 150 divided by 96. It will give us 25 out of, this will be same as this will give us a linear scale factor squared equal to 25 out of 16. We shall get 25 out of 16. That is dividing by a sixth route. So you divide this by 6. You divide 150 by 6. You will get 25. Divide 96 by 6. You will get 16. So this will give us that. So from here we can obtain a linear scale factor which is same as the square root of 25 over 16, and linear scale factor will be same as 5 divided by 4. So that will be the linear scale factor. So after getting linear scale factor, we shall use this linear scale factor to get what we call the volume scale factor. So next we shall say, but we know volume scale factor is same as a linear scale factor, which is to power 3. So it means a volume scale factor which can be obtained by saying volume of larger container, we are dividing this by volume of the smaller container, should be equal to 5 over 4 the whole of this to power 3. So this will take us back. We have volume of the larger container. No, we don't have that, but we have volume of the smaller container, which is this. So let us substitute for that. So this will be same as volume of the larger container. Let us call that one VL, volume of the larger container, or let us write that volume of a larger container over volume of the smaller container. We got that. We have got that as 128,000. So this is 128,000, which is equal to 5 to power 3. 5 to power 3 divided by 4 to power 3. So 5 to power 3 is same as 125. 4 to power 3 is same as 64. So this will give us volume of larger container. The volume of the larger container will be same as 125 over 64 times 128,000, and this will be able to give us this will be able to give us 250,000 centimeters cubed. So this will be the volume. This will be the volume of the larger container. Therefore, the volume of the larger container, is will be 250 centimeters cubed. So that we have got the volume of the larger container. Next we need to look at, so they are saying the container has a surface area of that. The caterer has requested the head teacher to buy a similar larger container of this surface area so that the volume of porridge to be served to each student increases when the larger container is filled to capacity. So we have so far got the volume of the larger container. When it is filled to capacity, it is having this volume, which is 250,000 centimeters cubed. So what will be our interest? So they are saying here we need to determine the quantity of porridge in liters that will be served to each of the 500 students if the caterer gets the larger container and each student is to receive the same quantity. So we need the quantity in liters. So after getting the volume of this container, we need to obtain this volume in liters. We need to obtain the volume in liters. So let us see how best we can get that. We shall say, so volume in liters, volume in liters will be, we know that 1,000 centimeters cubed, 1,000 centimeters cubed are equal to 1 liter. So 1 liter has 1,000 centimeters cubed. So if we have this centimeters cubed, then how best we can get the liters. So we can try to do it aside. We are saying 1 liter is equal to 1,000 centimeters cubed. So x liters will be equal to 250 centimeters cubed. So from here you can cross multiply and have 1000x is equal to 250, and from there divide by 1000 and divide by 1000. So x will be same as 250 liters. So it means the volume in liters, the volume of the larger container, the volume of the larger container in liters is 250. Is 250 liters. So that is the volume in liters of the larger container. So let us now answer the question. They are saying determine the quantity of porridge in liters that would be served to each of the 500 students. To each of the 500 students. Meaning that the 500 students are to share these liters of porridge. So we are saying, let us look at the quantity of porridge. So we are saying 500 students, 500 students. So they are asking quantity of that will be served to each of the 500 students. So the 500 students will share 250 liters of porridge. So if they share 250 liters of porridge, what about each student? So one student will therefore be sharing, one student will share 250 divided by 500, and this will be liters of porridge. So this will imply that one student will share 250 divided by 500, that is 0.5 liters. So it means one student will be getting So one student will get 0.5 liters of porridge. So let us therefore conclude that therefore each student will be served 0.5 liters of porridge if the caterer gets the larger container. So we are having 500 students will be served. Let us serve this as will be served, not share. Will be served at 250 liters of porridge. Will be served at 250 liters over 500. Okay, so it means one student will get 0.5 liters of porridge. So that is all that was required for part A. We needed to give the response that determine the quantity of porridge in liters that will be served to each of the 500 students if the caterer gets the larger container and each student is to receive the same quantity. So it means each student will be served 0.5 liters of porridge, and that will happen if the caterer gets the larger container. So that will answer part A, and now we shall look at part B. Let us now talk about part B. Part B, we need to compute the net income for the cook. We are told that as a way of improving the services at the kitchen, the head teacher has employed another cook who will earn a gross monthly income of this amount. The income includes the transport allowance of that, housing allowance of that, lunch allowance, which is 10% of the gross monthly income, and utilities allowance of this amount. So in order to compute the net income for the cook, let us first of all look at the allowances. Let us look at the allowances first. So we are looking at part B, and we are looking at allowances first. So let's talk about allowances. Let us begin with the first one, which is a transport allowance. A transport is shillings. A transport is shillings. Transport is shillings 115,500. So we shall have that as 115,500. And next we shall talk about housing. Housing, we are told he's having the housing allowance of this amount. So we shall also include that. That is 81,150. And the next one we shall talk about lunch. Is entitled to lunch, which is entitled to lunch, which is at 10% of the gross monthly income. So that is 10% of the gross monthly income, which is 853,500. That is the amount we are given here. The gross monthly income as 853,500, and this should be able to give us shillings. This should be able to give us shillings 5 and this, so 85,350. So that should be the amount we shall get for the lunch. And next we shall talk about utilities. Utilities, they are amounting to 35,500. That is 35,500. 35,500. So that those are the allowances that the cook is given. So let us talk about the total allowances. So total allowances, we shall get 115,500. We add there 81,150. We add there 85,350. We add there 35,500. So should be able to get the amount. So we shall be able to get this as the total allowances. So next we shall talk about the taxable income. Let us talk about taxable income. That is the income that will be subjected to the taxes. The taxable income will be same as the gross monthly income, same as gross monthly income minus the total allowances, and this should be able to give us. So let us look at 500 minus the total allowances which we got here, 317,500, and this should be able to give us shillings 536 and 00. So this is what we shall call the taxable income. So let us have that. Therefore, the taxable income is shillings 536,000. This will be the taxable income. This will be the total allowances. So having got what we call the taxable income, we need to go back to the tax structure, and we look at the where this amount falls, because that will be the taxable amount. So the taxable income falls in this range. The taxable income we obtained was 53600. This amount here will be falling in between this. Will be falling in this range. Will be falling in this range. So it means this is 536 is less than this. So where there is this, we shall be putting a 536 because it does not reach to this amount. So it means when we are looking at the rates, we shall consider this amount, this one, and this one here. So where there is this value, we shall be putting this because that is where our amount stops. So that is the structure we shall consider. So let us look at this structure. Now we have already noted what we shall consider for our taxable income. Remember, our income rise at this given point. So where it rises, we shall be considering this as our upper value. We shall eliminate this 550 since our income is less than that. So let us now look at our structure here. So this is our structure from 0 to this. It is free. So that is not taxed. And for that case, it means this value will be 0. 2, we shall look at this. This one here is 13%. 13% of this amount. So we get 250. We subtract 100, 5,000. This one here is taken to be as a 0. So this is taken as a 0. So you get 250,000. You subtract 100, 5,000. So you multiply that, and this should be able to give you the answer. So this should be able to give us 1,800. This should be able to give us 1,800. So it will give us 18,850 as the value. So next, this will give us, this will be 20% of, still we shall get 350,000. We subtract 250,000. As I said, this will be treated as a 0. So this should be also be in position to give us the value which is same as 20,000. So that is the value we shall get. Then next we shall have 30% of, next we shall have 450,000. 450,000 minus 350,000, and this should also be able to give us the amount which is equal to 30,000. And lastly, this is this range here. The rate was 40, so it means we shall have here a 40. So this will be 40%. We shall also get 536,000. We shall subtract 450,000. As I said, this will be treated as a 0. And this should be able to give us the value which is equal to 3, 4. This is 400. So that is basically what we shall be able to obtain. So next we shall talk about the total amount. That is the total income tax. So let us look at total. The total will be same as getting the values. We add them together. So this should be able to give us shillings. This should be able to give us shillings. This is 103,250. So this will be the total income tax. So far we have obtained the total income tax, and after getting that, we shall now talk about the net income. So what will be the net income? Next, let us talk about the net income. So how do we get net income? We get net income by getting gross monthly income, gross monthly income. We subtract what we call the total income tax. Total income tax. So let us look at that. We already have what we call the gross monthly income, and this value was 853 500. So we need to subtract the income that we have obtained, that is 103 250, and this should be able to give us shillings 750,250 shillings. So this will be the net income. This will be the net income. So from that, let us now answer the question. I remember the question was compute the net income for the cook. So finally, we can say the net income for the cook. The net income for the cook. The net income for the cook is shillings 750,250, and this would be the required answer. So that's all about item number 6, and this marks the end of our paper. And in case there is a part that you feel is not clear, please put it in the comment section. Otherwise, thank you all. Make sure you don't forget to subscribe to this channel. More other papers, more other questions, more other items will be discussed. So please don't forget to subscribe, so as you will always be updated whenever a new video is uploaded. Otherwise, that is where we shall stop for today and meet you in the next session.
Yeah.